get started, I'd like to briefly explain my 7 energy point chakra spread. The cards on the left are the unconscious inner self. The card in the center is the heart. And the 3 cards on the right are the conscious foreself. The card on the bottom left is the base of your spine. It's a combination of many things, from past lives to tragic or cherished childhood memories up to the present. We're always culling and bringing new things into our lives and evolving. That's why I'm calling it sourcings and urgings instead of foundation. The second card up is your pelvic or sacrum. And this is awakening or arousing. This is where your spiritual awakening is, and growth of all kinds, and includes your sexual prowess. This can be a cosmic life breath. The cosmos has natural laws that live in harmony, but we don't always live in harmony with them. The top left-hand card is the solar plexus, or what I consider sensing and feeling. This is where you get those gut feelings about something when they're right or wrong. This is also a universal life force, contrary to a cosmic life breath. This is where chaos ensues in our lives. The center card is the heart of the matter, or the situation. We're always asking questions. Why did this happen, and what's going to happen next? The heart of the matter must connect with the unconscious and the conscious, so we can leave our shadow self in the dust. Another Jungian reality here. And maybe have more of an understanding of what's happening in our lives. The card on the bottom right is the throat, or what I consider communicating and teachings. It has to do with how we accept the rules of society and how we live our life. Are you living a conservative, orthodox life, or more of a new wave, do what you want kind of life? The second card up is the third eye, or seeing or envisioning. It's more of bringing things from a linear to a 3-dimensional perspective. The third eye is our pineal gland in the center of our brain that's activated by light. So this can also be considered enlightenment. The card on the top right is the crown, our knowing and understanding. You can have a lot of knowledge, but if you cannot apply this knowledge wisely, it's not wisdom. In the past, I used to pull a hidden Rider-Waite card as I was doing the readings, but for logistic reasons, I'm going to be pulling all of the cards at once, and then putting these clarification cards alongside each of the main cards as I'm telling the story of the reading. The subtitles will direct you through this so you don't lose track of what's going on and where I'm at and what card I'm reading. And then on the left, I'll be putting a past card, and on the right, I'll be putting a future card. And then underneath, there'll be a Doreen Virtue Messages of the Angels card. And on with the readings. The card on the bottom left for the base of your spine, for sourcing and urgings, you received the Hangman. The story goes that this depicts the Norse god Odin, hanging from the branch of the world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 days while peering into the well of destiny, called Urds, for the mystical wisdom of the runes, which means secret magic letters. The rune symbols were then carved onto the trunk of the world tree to carry these messages to their 9 worlds. Odin's quest conquered his struggle within by sacrificing himself to himself for a rebirth. He relinquished freedom of the outside world for stillness to acquire the rune's wisdom through his spiritual journey of death to rebirth. His lesson is to stop controlling the physical world. Look at it in a different light. Relinquish the old ideas because new ideas are avidly seeking their place. Allow things to go with their natural flow without opposition. The actions induced by the hangman must be preceded by a time of great reflection. The clarification card is death. You're in a transformation. Or let's say it's a transition or even a transmutation. It's like the conversion of energy in the material world to reincarnate you into the spiritual world. Change is not your enemy. Your enemy is resisting change. You have to go with the intrinsic flow of the universe, and with the death card, you can't avoid change. You can kick and scream all you want, but once the death card gets a handle on you, you can't stop this transformation. Now let's take a look at the past card to the left of the Hanged Man and the Death card. It's Justice. Now Justice is number 11, the Hangman is number 12, and Death is number 13. So it appears to me that Justice meted out some type of punishment or some retribution of some sort, and this threw you into the Hanged Man, sacrifice and looking for the spiritual you, trying to allow things just to flow. And the natural progression was the Death card. You were transforming at the same time. Now up above the Hanged Man and the Death card, for the pelvic and sacrum for awakening and arousing, receive the Fool. You're ready to go on a new journey to discover the mysteries of life, and for a self-discovery too, because you've been now isolated and thinking about things with the Hangman and transforming with the Death card, and it's only natural now that you go on a new journey. The clarification card is the Lover's card. This is about making a decision, making a good decision, making a virtuous decision. And here this could also be related to the Justice card. Maybe something happened in a relationship that set you back. Maybe Justice was unhappy and wielded her sword of accountability, making you accountable or somebody else for their actions. Now up above the Fool and the Lover's card, for the solar plexus, for sensing and feeling, you have the Three of Wands. After thinking about things and transforming, you've made some plans. Three of Wands is a card of motion, it's movement. The wheels are spinning around. Your plans are coming into reality. The clarification card is the Knight of Swords. But you have to be very careful with the Knight of Swords. He's very impetuous, and maybe somebody's galloping into your life and will gallop out just as fast, or maybe you're galloping along too fast and not thinking through what you're doing. As many of the Swords cards, the Knight of Swords can be somewhat dysfunctional. He's too intense. He's too knee-jerk reaction kind of guy. His presence does call to action, to slow down. It's time to take some time and think over and go back into the Hangman mode. Now the center card, for the heart of the matter, you see the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, fate is on your side. The wheel is on the upswing. It's telling you change is at hand. And some of this change may dramatically sway away from the status quo of what you're used to. A lot of times this is telling you to leave the past behind so you can live in the present and the future. Just like the Death card, you can't stop the transformation. And you can't stop the fate of the Wheel of Fortune. This is one instance where it's out of your hands. But this card offers great opportunities and new choices. Now the clarification card is the Three of Pentacles. I call it the architecture card because it's about building. And maybe you're building something, or you're a vital part of something being built. Maybe this opportunity of building something just dropped into your lap, with it being conjoined with the Wheel of Fortune. The card on the bottom right, for your throat, for your communicating and teaching, you receive the King of Cups. And the clarification card is the Ten of Swords. I want to discuss them together. The King of Cups is the apex of emotions and love. He's a man that's molten lava inside, but he can be rather stoic on the outside. One thing he can do is he can ameliorate injured hearts. He has good counsel for people that have broken hearts, achy hearts from severing of ties, breakups of lovers, deaths. And here the Ten of Swords is saying something happened to you. You were stabbed in the back or betrayed. Something happened that brought about a real dramatic change in your life. This dramatic change has really affected you. And it really is time to get out of your funk and listen to what the King of Cups has to say to you. This could be a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, male or female, or just anybody that has that traits, but there's going to be somebody in your life that is going to say something that's just going to click in your mind and say, yeah, that's right. You know, I remember when my father died years ago, and I hadn't slept for 3 months, and I was saying to somebody at work that I was going to die if I didn't sleep. And the phone rang. And the woman that I worked for told me, yeah, she wanted to call me earlier, but she felt now this was the time. And she said that she didn't sleep for a year after her father died. And she went on and talked to me for about a half hour. And after that, it all made sense. And somebody's going to come into your life too and help out. Help you out. Now up in the third eye, for your seeing and envisioning, you receive the Six of Cups. This is a memory card. This is a card about childhood and the past. It's not only you didn't receive the Six of Cups once, the clarification card is the Six of Cups too. Just in case you missed the message that this is about memories in the past. You have to remember, though, you have to keep only the good memories and only take note of the bad memories, because nostalgia can be a very tricky thing. Not all childhood memories are pleasant. A lot of times we idolize, and distort things from our past, and this causes disappointments when you face reality in the future. But this cup's also full of blooming hope for the present and the future if you learn the lessons from the past. This also could be somebody from the past walking into your life now and dramatically changing it. Can also indicate a deceased person that is now being a guardian and helping you through the bumpy roads in your life. Once you've gone down memory lane, put things in perspective and make sure you realize that you've grown up. However, this card can have a lot of positive things too. It's about gifts, rekindled love, new environments, and knowledge sharing. It can be even about inheritance of money or taking care of sick relatives. It can be about the blessed event of childbirth and just the loving care of family and friends. Up above the Six of Cups cards, for the crown for knowing and understanding, you receive the High Priestess. It's saying you're discovering the spiritual you. that you've listened to her subtle messages from the cosmos that's been brought down to earth to you. She's now a guiding light to you. Maybe it's a light coming out of the past, having you now live in the present and looking forward to the future. The clarification card is the Seven of Pentacles. I call this coming to harvest card. You're not there yet. You haven't harvested. It's like a farmer. His crops are almost ripe and he's ready to harvest. But this is a time where frost, hail, flooding can wipe him out and he won't see the abundance and the fruit of his labors. This is telling you it's a time to be vigilant. The past card on the left, as I noted, is the Justice card. Somewhere there was some type of justice meted out, as I'd mentioned. Her presence usually indicates that something was out of balance, and now it appears that the scales is balancing back out, but it's kind of fragile. I even see that when you're trying to calibrate the scales, it's still kind of bouncing around, and even just a feather has it bouncing back and forth. So just make sure that things are going into an equilibrium. Maybe it's about making peace with your past and the people you knew in your past. Now the future card is the Ace of Swords. This is about new beginnings, but it's a fickle card about new beginnings because the sword has two edges to it, and it can be intellect that imposes justice. And this brings us back to the Justice card. And the other side of the coin is that it supports deception and evil. So you have to be careful with the sword and use it for the positive. Use it to cut through the crap and get to the heart of the matter and not be undercutting. Because sometimes it can challenge logic over emotions. It can challenge truth and justice. It can bring sudden changes that can be positive or negative. It can draw or require you to draw inner strength. It can be like lightning too and bring epiphanies that shine a light on very significant things and suddenly make things crystal clear. Don't forget that Swords is about the mind and intellect, and make sure it's mind over matter. Okay, I preempted the During Virtue Messages of the Angels card just for the mere reason that I picked the Hanged Man as the first card, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a one rune reading in association with this spread. So, on with the rune reading.